So, a bit of a different one today. I am going to speak to something that I have seen in the media this week, and it's really inspired me and kind of got a bit of a fire under my seat, and it's got me in all the feels. And I am struggling, I'm going to be honest, and I have a lot to say about it. And it's the broader impact on the people here. So, not only the person that was impacted directly and their wider family and friends, but also community, people in our society, our fellow humans. And so, I'm going to talk about compassion over clickbait. And so, welcome, welcome, welcome. I know I've kind of been a bit absent recently, so I'm glad to be back here on the pod. And recently in the media, there was a portrayal, a video taken of a person in Australia, kind of a member of the public, saw this person struggling. They were, having a moment and they weren't in a good way in themselves. And instead of showing some humanity and maybe asking if that person was okay, asking if there was someone they could call, if they needed help, this individual, member of the public, decided to film this person and their struggle and, what was going on. And then, a media outlet purchased it, and so then followed, the chaos here and the headlines, the shaming, the cheap one-liners, the stigma. And why does this matter? It matters for this beautiful person who is a person, right? We're all just people. And it matters for her family. She is a mother, she is a friend, she is a daughter. And it matters for the millions of people who are struggling with addiction and, mental health struggles. And it matters for their families. And it is easy for people to sit in the cheap seats. It is easy to be a bystander. It is easy to give your trolly one-liner judgment. And let's look behind that. And today's conversation is going to be about what is the human cost here. So this kind of public scrutiny obviously really impacts the person at the center of this. And then the compounding impacts on that person's mental health, how they might step through this, how they might get support, how safe they feel to do that. And my heart goes out to her because as a person like me, I'm not in the media, my every step is not under any scrutiny. I'm not being filmed, photoed, or anything else. If I had a wobble, no one would see it. It wouldn't be plastered across the media. And the ripple effect on this lovely person's family, their close friends. And ask yourself this: how would you feel if it was your loved one? How would you feel if a really devastating time for your loved one was filmed and then you saw it when you opened Facebook, you saw it when you opened, where you maybe get your news, your social media updates? How would you feel if that was your loved one? And it sends a message, right? It's not okay to be human. Are you perfect? I'm not perfect. And how often have I said this? An addiction here or a problematic behavior, we're leaning on something a bit much that's causing us our life problems. In any other area of life, it's okay to err. It's okay to be human. It's okay to, I've decided to give up coffee or sugar, or I'm going to get back to my fitness, my gym routine, my sleep routine, or whatever it is. And then you have one day where you miss, we have one day where you completely get off track and it's 3 cups of coffee and then we've got a can of Coke in the afternoon, no one's shaming you for that. No one's saying, oh, that's it then, So it's in addiction, there is this craziness around the expectation of change. And the minute you say, hey, yeah, I did get to a place where I was leaning on alcohol too much and I got some support and I'm making changes, amazing, great. Everyone is just, wow, that's awesome. And then that person has a bit of a wobble. And it's like, of course, because they are human. Change is hard. And yet, when you're having your little wobble with your sugar correction, or maybe dairy doesn't suit you, no one's like, oh no, oh, it's a shame. It's like, who cares? And obviously, I am well aware the impacts of having a wobble with your caffeine consumption is different when you have a wobble with alcohol and it's really kind of throwing life into chaos. I'm aware. But the expectation of change is such a high bar and impossible because it's not linear. We rationally know that as humans. But we humiliate people, we judge them, we shame them, and that then tells the message to all the other beautiful people here who might be thinking, hey, I'm struggling or I'm on a healthier path and it's not okay to wobble. And it's so different to how we portray addiction recovery in the media, but also just anecdotally at our dinner table versus other illnesses, other diseases, whatever way you want to think about it. Right. And all that does in the media, we see it in the cinema, we see it in headlines and print and social media and at our dinner tables, are drunk, they're spiraling, rock bottom, junkie, all of this really damaging language. And all this language does is reinforce the shame and the stigma. Hey, firstly, if you are struggling, it's not safe to put your hand up and ask for help. And B, it's not okay to be human and struggle with change. And then broadly, beyond that, the families and loved ones of those lovely people who are struggling here with addiction or, anything else, the conversations after, seeing this particular situation played out in the media and then people commenting on it at the water cooler at work, at school drop off, at your kid's soccer game. Did you see that? And then the judgment from the cheap seats. If you are someone that has a loved one struggling here, you've then got that message, right? Okay, rightio, that's what that person thinks about alcohol, struggle, recovery, addiction, whatever it is, right. I have parked that and it's obviously not okay to talk about. It's not okay to have a struggle here. It's not okay to wobble in recovery. And then again, the shame and the stigma is perpetuated. And what does that do? All it does is prevents people from putting up their hand either side here, whether you're the person struggling or the family member. It stops people in their tracks from putting up their hand and saying, hey, this is going on for me. I need some support. Or this is going on for me. I think this might be a problem. Because it's not okay. All right? It's not okay. And there's a better conversation we can have here. There is a better way forward, and that is with compassion. That is with human first language. And then I've done a whole podcast on language, episode 13. Go and check it out. Language, human first language, that acknowledges we are all just people. People, people, people. That person that you're judging from your cheap seat is someone's mother, They're someone's husband, someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's friend. Okay, so let's lead with human first conversation. Let's lead with human first language. Let's lead with humanity and humility when we're at the dinner table, when we are around the water cooler at work. What could have been different here? And we can apply this, in life. What if the person who had filmed this had offered help? What had they had offered an outreached hand? Or, hey, do you need me to call somebody? If they didn't feel comfortable stepping in, because 100% sometimes behavior can be confusing and we're not sure what's going on with the person. And if you felt like maybe you didn't feel comfortable stepping into that, 100%, okay, you respect yourself, your safety in the situation. But you could have said, hey, can I call someone? You could have called an ambulance. You could have called anyone else. You could have said, hey, I'm here if you need me. I'm just going to sit here with you. And what could have been different here to get a better outcome, to get a different outcome? And what if, as a society, we could look at addiction and problematic behavior here, the way we see other illnesses, the way we see other diseases, with concern, with support, with, hey, what do you need? And we think about when someone's struggling with literally anything else in life, hey, what can I do for you? Can I get you anything? We're here for you. We've got you. You see someone stumble and fall, hey, can I help you up? Can I call anybody? Are you okay? And that's it, right? Are you okay? It doesn't cost you anything to be a human, to be a good human, to show some humanity. And what if, as individuals here, we can shift the conversation in our circles, if we can change the conversation at home, if we can change the conversation at the dinner table, the water cooler, the sports field, the school pickup line, that then lets people know we're all just people. And that must be really hard. What that woman was going through, she must have been going through something really hard. I hope she's okay, right? Instead of judgment, and now I'm going to start crying, judgment, shame, stigma, right? Like I said, that is someone's mother. It is someone's daughter, someone's friend. And all it is going to do is telling the millions of other people out there who are struggling here with their own struggle with addiction, problematic behavior, or a loved one who is struggling with someone in their family who is in the thick of it and they're right in the weeds and they don't know what to do. They're struggling hard enough. They are suffering enough. They don't need more shame, more judgment, more stigma piled on, and then making it not okay to put their hand up and say, we are drowning. Can someone throw us a damn life raft instead of everyone sitting in their boat just pointing and throwing cheap comments? Okay, so as a society, let's do better. As people, let's do better to our fellow people. Okay, and stop rewarding the spectacle of media, cheap headline grabbing crap and gossip. If someone is talking to you in the school pickup line about something someone else did, shut it down. Let them know that's not okay with you and it's not okay to be talking about it in that way, and maybe invite people to offer help if it feels right for them. We can change the conversation. We can do it together. And if you have someone struggling here in your life, you want them to get support. You want them to get better. You need support. You need a helping hand here too. But all of this does, and what we have seen unfold in the media, and we see it unfold in the movies, in life, throwing shame and stigma on people here is not going to help anyone. It's just going to perpetuate the problem, and people, they go to ground. They're not putting their hand up. They're not going to see someone they trust for some support. Because as a society, we keep showing with our behavior, it is not safe. It is not safe to get support. It is not safe to put your hand up. So if this resonated with you, if you feel compelled to change the conversation, if you feel compelled to lead with humanity, I would love for you to share this episode with someone, start a conversation. If you're struggling here, whatever it is you might be struggling with, reach out for support. Okay? Reach out to me. I'm here. Thank you for listening. Thank you for staying brave here, and thank you for staying kind.